and welcome to LearnCity. Today we'll be looking at Electoral Commission. Electoral Commission. An Electoral Commission is the body charged with the responsibility of conducting and organizing a free and fair election in the country. An Electoral Commission is a body that is charged with the responsibility of conducting and organizing free and fair elections in a country. In Nigeria, the Electoral Commission was called different names at different times. During the Second Republic, which it was called FEDECO, Federal Electoral Commission, FEDECO, and the Second Republic spanned from 1979 to 1983. During the aborted Third Republic, it was called the National Electoral Commission, NEC, and it spanned from 1987 to 1993. And the INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, conducted the 1999 Fourth Republic election, and they've conducted the subsequent election. They conducted the 2003 election, the 2007 election, the 2011 election, the 2015 elections, the 2019 elections, and they'll be conducting the 2023 election. At the state level, the Electoral Commission is called the State Independent Electoral Commission, SIEC. The next subtopic we'll be looking at is the composition or organization of the Electoral Commission. The composition or organization of the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission, they have a system, they have a composition, they have an organization they work with. The highest rank in the Electoral Commission is the chairman. The chairman formulates policies that affect and he formulates policies and supervises the election throughout the country. So the chairman of the Electoral Commission is the one that formulates the policies that affect the election and he supervises the election throughout the country. The next is the secretary. The secretary controls the personnel and ensures that all electoral regulations are observed in the appointment and conduct of all supporting officers. And the secretary reports to the chairman. The secretary is responsible to the chairman. The secretary basically is the personnel that ensures that all the electoral rules and regulations are followed, and the secretary is the one that appoints the supporting officers. The next we'll be looking at is the electoral officer. The electoral officers are the ones that distribute materials to the polling office and they supervise the conduct of election in their areas. The electoral officers, they are the ones that distribute materials to the polling officers and they supervise the conduct of election in their areas. The next we'll be looking at is the returning officer. The returning officer is the one that conducts the vote cast. And pronounce the results. The returning officer is the one that conducts the vote cast. They are the ones that are, in front of the ballot paper that teach you how you vote, and they are the ones that count the votes and pronounce the results. The returning officers are the ones that count the votes and pronounce the results. The polling orderlies, they are the ones that supervise the actual casting of votes at the polling station to ensure that voters are allowed to vote without molestation. So the polling orderlies, they are the ones that supervise the actual casting of votes. So they are the ones that would that have the ballot paper in front of them and that you vote in front of them. They show you that this is how you tick, this is when not to tick. If you do this, your vote will not count. So the polling office orderlies, they're the ones that supervise the actual casting of the votes at the polling station to ensure that voters are allowed to vote without molestation. We equally have the party agents. At all polling stations, the party agents are at all polling stations and they ensure that the interests of their respective parties are not jeopardized. The party agents, they are the people at the polling center stations that would still tell you that please vote for my candidate. My candidate is this, he promised to do this. So they are always at every polling station and they ensure that the interests of their own candidates are not jeopardized by. The next thing we'll be looking at is the functions of an electoral commission. The functions of an electoral commission. The first function of an electoral commission is that they delimit the country into constituencies, the delimitation of constituencies. Now, they break the country into constituencies for ease of voting. For ease of voting. So the first function of an electoral commission is delimitation of constituencies, the breaking down of the country into small, small units for ease of voting. The second function of an electoral commission is they register political parties. For every political party that wants to bring a candidate, they have to register with the electoral commission. For example, APC, PDP, Labour Party, they are all registered under INEC. The next function of an electoral commission is that they recruit and train members. They recruit and train people that work at the polling station. They recruit and they train people that work at the polling stations. The next function of an electoral commission is that they provide electoral materials. They are the ones that provide the ballot boxes, the ballot papers, and they secure the venue for the actual voting. So they provide the electoral materials. Another function of the electoral commission is they provide electoral materials. The next thing they do is that they conduct political education. They educate the voters. They tell them how to vote. They tell them where to tick. They tell them if they tick like this, their vote will not count. Their vote will be disqualified. So they educate the voters and equally the candidates. The next thing they do is they ensure security at the polling stations. The Electoral Commission ensures security at the polling station. They ensure that everything is done orderly. They ensure that people are able to vote without molestation, without harassment. They are able to vote in a conducive environment. They ensure security at the polling stations. The next thing is they register eligible voters. They are the ones that conduct the registration for eligible voters. INEC, for example, in Nigeria, they make sure that only people that are eligible to vote are votes. And they register people that are eligible to vote. The next thing we'll be looking at is the roles of electoral officers. Roles of electoral officers. The first officer we have is the electoral officer. The electoral officer is the one in charge of the conduct of the election in a local government area. Other officials report to the electoral officer. The electoral officer is usually a permanent staff of the commission. The electoral officer is a permanent staff of the electoral commission. They are usually in charge of conduct of election in a local government area. And other part-time officers report to the electoral officer. The next officer we have is the presiding officer. The presiding officer is the actual officer that conducts the election in the polling station where he or she is in charge. The presiding officer is the one that conducts the actual election. They are the ones that, they are seated in front of the ballot paper that make sure that everywhere is orderly, that people vote in a free and fair, that people vote in a conducive environment. The presiding officer is the actual officer that conducts the election in the polling station where they are in charge. The polling officer ensures that the proceedings of the election go on normally, and they order the arrest of anyone who wants to disrupt the exercise. They ensure that the election is done in an orderly manner, that the people are able to vote in a conducive environment, and they arrest any individual that wants to disrupt the election. The next electoral officer we have is the polling agent. The polling agents are people that they are the polling station to ensure that the interests of their respective parties are not jeopardized. They are also called party agents. They are there to make sure that nobody, changes the minds of people that want to vote for their candidates. So they make sure that the interests of their respective candidates are not jeopardized. They are also called party agents. The next officer I'll be looking at is the poll clerk. The poll clerk is the next in command to the presiding officer at the polling station. The poll clerk assists in the election duties and also ensures orderliness in the station. So the poll clerk is the assistant of the polling agent. The poll clerk assists in election duties and they ensure the orderliness of the station. They assist the presiding officer. The poll clerks assist the presiding officers at the polling station. And with this, we've come to the end of the class. In this class, we looked at the Electoral Commission and the officers in the Electoral Commission, the functions of an Electoral Commission. In the next class, we'll be looking at public opinion.